Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody there.
Okay, so all right. What's been happening, Luba? What's been going down?
Everything is wonderful. Everything is literally wonderful. Just back from the beach, like the weather is awesome, and there was so many people swimming. Like it was just incredible. 4th of October, and it's so warm and nice in Odessa. And everything, like we have election soon, so 25th of October, and I think that the cities are just like running, everything under construction, a lot of new playgrounds and shops opening, renovating, painting. So before election is the best time when everybody's on duty to make city looks good. So
how often do you have elections? Because Zelensky was just put in like last year, right?
No, it's like in Odessa, it's for the mayor. It's locals. It's not them.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, of course. Okay. Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm gonna commend you on your borscht that I ate earlier today. I ate it, and then I had to have a sleep for about 1 hour.
Поел борщ и сразу уснул.
Очень вкусно.
Молодец.
Yeah. Okay. Travel ban has been lifted. Yes, it has been lifted on the 28th. I think it was. So we have heard of experiences coming through with no having to install the app, right? I don't know. What did... So the
story is that right at the moment, guys, can you please tell me if you hear me well? This is what is important at the moment. Please tell me that you hear me, and I will keep talking.
I think there's like a 30-second delay from when they see it from when we talk, I think.
Okay, so I hope it means that everybody can hear me. So what I want to say is that what I want to say, Striker. What's weird?
I don't know. You were talking about the airport.
Yes, so the airport. The situation is that the borders are open. Everybody are welcome to come to Ukraine. At the moment, you still have to do app and test, and you have to have an insurance. And what we see, what is the kind of inside information from the guys who already came, is that not everybody is asked to put the app, and not everybody is asked for a test, but definitely 100% of the people are asked for insurance. So this basically, the latest update. It's better to do everything if it was asked, of course. But if not, then, just come. And the most important is insurance. I just remind that the guys who are with Heart Rocket, if you're planning a trip anytime soon, but they're pretty much in touch with everybody. So please contact us because we provide insurance for free. And by the way, I want to say Happy World Smile Day. Did you know that?
What is World Smile Day, Luba?
It's when everybody should smile. And you know how I know that?
How? How would you know such a thing? How would you know such a unique...
unusual day?
An unusual date here.
Yeah. I have a very special calendar. So every day I try to learn a couple of more new English words because I struggle that I don't know enough. And so this is really incredible calendar, guys. If you're looking for some useful gift for your lady in Ukraine, I think this is awesome. So this calendar, you see that already almost soon as New Year. So it has 3 words every day, and it says if it is a big holiday. So for example, today is the word smirk, dream, and beaming, and it's all about smile, right? We already did.
Yes. Yeah. Beaming, the beaming smile.
Yeah, and so what is good about that? So for example, smirk. It says, smile to show satisfaction or pleasure about knowing something that is not known by someone else. Then they give you example, I asked Andrew what happened to Kate, but he just smirked. And then it says translation at the end. So it's pretty cool to learn, and I think it's a very good gift. And also it has date, but it doesn't have the day, so you can use it any year, anytime. So just keep in mind.
This video is not sponsored by that calendar.
No, I just really enjoy it.
Yeah. It's like a clean version of Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, but it's very, very
cool. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming and visiting us. Always a pleasure.
yes, so many guys.
So this video today, we thought it would be a good one to talk about the womb woman, because it's something that I'm going to say every single call that we have, whether you guys out there or you're looking for help, we end up talking about what does the wing woman do. And I thought it'd be a good video, and Luba also as well, to sort of talk about like Luba's adventures as a wing woman, like some of the stories that she's been through, and I've heard many of them, and some of them are pretty out there. And also what her role is in helping guys come over when they're over in Ukraine planning, and then when they go back home, because that's what she does from the virtual side of being a wing woman with Heart Rocket, which is a little bit different from the offline wing woman she used to do, but we'll talk about offline wing woman a little bit later on in the video, in case any of you guys are wondering. Yeah, okay. So Luba,
I want to say hello to everybody, but a special one for Rodney. Rodney, we can see your messages. And you know what is interesting, Rodney? Like, since you joined our channel, we have about, 100 calls. And almost every single guy is asking, did you actually talk to Rodney?
I actually spoke to someone who was on like a group, like another channel's, exclusive video that not many people could be in. And he said, I didn't see Rodney in there. So even he knew. So Rodney's famous. Anyway, but that's cool. So anyway, so maybe Luba, it's funny actually, before this, Luba was like, I'm a bit shy. I don't really want to talk about myself and all the things that I can do, because she doesn't want to sort of brag about herself. And I said, you have to. You're the best. It's just the way it is. You have to tell the whole world. So, you're a little bit worried about talking about.
No, I still don't know. Like this video, even like the way you call it, like a kind of.
Virginia. The truth, and the thing that I really want to stress, and I always stress this, is that like Luba is not like a translator from like any other company who doesn't know shit, right? Like she knows everything. She knows all the tricks from all the agencies. She knows the agencies. She even knows she knows all the scammers' tricks. She knows, and we're going to talk about some of these stories going forward, and you'll sort of get a bit of an insight into the mind of Luba, as opposed to just some translator that's just making sure you don't get lost and those sorts of things. So I see Luba at how should I say this? Like she is the best, right? So there's no doubt in my mind that anybody in this industry is better than Luba at organizing, helping guys, understanding guys, and even more so now, because Luba spends a lot of time reading some of like the books that I read as well when it comes to understanding the mindset. And stuff like that.
I feel uncomfortable when you talk about me. I will leave and then I will come back, okay?
Go on then. I'll just have a chat with the guys here about it. No, but really, like what I'm saying, like Luba, like really when it comes to knowing this industry, nobody, I believe, knows it better than Luba. And and hopefully you guys can see that as well, that she's not just some translator that's going to translate for you guys. Anyway, so let's get on with the show, eh? Luba.
Oh.
Well, I guess when you started out, right? When you started working for one of these large agencies, how did you sort of like? Was there any training, or did they like to train you to be like an assistant, or was it just you would just be a translator, just translate, don't point out any scams or anything like that, or just how did you get to know what you know now? You don't have to tell the whole story, obviously, it's going to go for too long.
No,
but
I've always been in trouble. I will tell you the truth. From the very beginning, I was in trouble because I was always trying to do like extra, like I was like taking care, and I was contacting the guy, making sure that, he got home safe, or like he got everything he needed, or like since like my first social. And they never liked me. I will put it this way. And there's a lot of like talking about that, because they just didn't like that, I was different than others, because like it was difficult to like get into this point, when interpreter was not just going on a date like for 2 hours, but I was actually like taking care about the guy before date, after date, and this was a trouble, to be honest. But I was trying, and of course, like there was many times when I was upset because like it's not that I was looking for appreciation, but I definitely were not feeling any. I would put it this way, but I still was keep doing that because it's how I feel. And one time I've been in California on a very big event, and so they was going like you have to stand up in front of the audience and say. I'm Luba, therefore I am like something that you, what is your purpose? And like I honestly can't say anything more than like care, because sometimes I feel that I care too much, and especially like I'm working with the adult guys. And to be honest, guys, I don't like when you call me mama because like I kind of feel, you know, uh, um, different, I would say. But I really like, sometimes I understand that maybe it's too much because these guys are adult and they can take care of themselves. But for me, it's so important to make sure that the guys, when they come to Ukraine, they are comfortable. Because when I visited like a couple of my friends in US, like different clients, and I visited the families, I just seen that these guys are so different that when they come to Ukraine. I would not say that most of the guys are clueless when they come to Ukraine, but to be honest, like in some way, yes. And it's not because they are like this, it's because it's completely different country. It is completely different everything, right? And so how the guy can take care of the stuff back home and how he can take care in Ukraine, it's very different. That's why for me, like I always feel that I like it and I will do it only this way, and nothing can change me. No matter what any of the agency will tell me, I will keep doing what I'm doing because I know that my intentions are good.
Well, I think it's fair to say that your intentions are to have the best for the guy that you're working for. But the agency's intentions were just keep your mouth shut, don't say anything about, and there's even stories of like where you've warned guys at socials and you basically got your ass kicked.
Yeah, and you know this story. Yes, I've been in trouble. I said one guy what I knew, and this guy, like they have a common dinner, like common breakfast when they have this big tour. And so he said, like I've been working with Luba, and like I was not on the channel. It was like a couple of years ago, and nobody actually knew who am I. But so he said that and said, yeah, I have such a good interpreter, and she told me like she aware me of a scammer at the social. And the next day, like it was not just like they was not just yelling at me. It was like so bad. I was looking at them, like instead of just kick off these ladies because they knew them, they was shouting at me around everybody, saying how bad I am, like in Russian, and the clients were like looking like what she did. So I'm super appreciate, and like I'm super happy that I have you in my life and that you started this channel like for absolutely different reason, and that we created the Heart Rocket, because honestly now I'm free to say, and now I can help. And if I want, like I do everything because it's my project, it's our project, and we're the only ones who are responsible for what is going on. And I'm super grateful for, I don't know, destiny, a universe, for bringing me at this position, because now I know that I have power in my hands.
So what do you do? Appreciate those words. And what do you like, what's your main role, right? If you were to say, if you were to explain to someone in like 3 sentences, if you said I'm a wing woman, how would you explain like what it is that you do in a small little paragraph? What's your overall goal?
First of all, every time when I meet somebody here in Ukraine, like I meet some nice lady and they say, oh, what you do? Because like, or like I speak on phone with you almost 24/7. If I'm not with you, I'm speaking on phone with you. So they say, oh, your English is so good. Like what you do for a living? And I tell them, and I never say that I have a dating agency because like we don't, but I said that I'm working in dating industry, and like the look of these people become like so, distancing, like they like, dating industry, and like it's like, yo, you can do better. And I say, no, but listen to me. And then like I start telling, and like and I start telling the stories about like what am I actually doing, and everybody like, it's like they've been like this, and then like Really? So they come closer and they really like they're like, and almost everybody say, oh, I have a friend, I have a sister, like, please find them a man. I see that you have best intentions in your heart. So as a wing woman, like, first of all, I want to bring back reputation of Ukrainian ladies. This is first, because reputation of Ukrainian ladies were ruined and like damaged by all these big agencies. And the girls, of course, like, it's not just agencies, the girls become like that, and there was like many reasons for that. We're not gonna go. So first of all, I want to bring back the reputation of Ukrainian ladies. Second of all is that I want to show that Ukraine is a beautiful country with a very big legacy, and it's a definitely super cool place for traveling, and definitely you can find your match and partner if you are reasonable, as we say, not even realistic, but reasonable. And third one is that I think that when I start working, like, I'm on such a fire, like, that people feel it, this energy, when I really like that, I enjoy my work so much that people can feel how excited I am, and they become excited as well. And it's great that I give with my job hope for the guys. I give them hope and understanding that they will not be single and lonely anymore, and they will find their match and they can be happy.
Okay. And I think that's, I was actually talking to someone the other day about Heart Rocket and sort of what it stood for. And it doesn't stand for like I've said before, like, we will never discuss success rates. We will never say, Peter come over last week and he met his wife. We'll never interview him and we'll never put him on the channel unless it is a real, relationship, that's looking like marriage. So our ultimate goal was to make sure that the guys don't get scammed, that they understand the mentality of Ukrainian women, and that they can safely navigate this so that even if they don't succeed on the first trip, they're ready to go again, because so many guys come over there, they have a shitty experience, they go with one of these agencies, they realize they got scammed, they realize that it was a bait and switch, So our goal was to make sure that even if it doesn't work the first time, you'll come back again and we'll guide you through all of this, scams and all the other stuff that's out there. So I think that that's kind of an important thing as well, is that, like, that it's all about guidance and education and that sort of stuff as well. There's no magic pill that you can take. You come over and in 10 days you're getting married. Like, that's a fluke when that happens. And yes, you see it everywhere because everybody, that's how they get you to give you their money. But we try to be a bit more realistic about it.
You know what I like the most in my work, to be honest, is that I can arrange some miracle for people. And I remember, like, for me, I adore arranging surprises. I adore arrange stuff, like do something that people like to see how they to see their happy emotions. Like, for me, it's like priceless. And it's a little bit unreasonable in Ukraine to work like in a wedding arrangement company or something like that, but I would be happy to do that and like to run this company, because I arrange many stuff for the guys, and for 11 years, of course, it was many. And then one day I was on a date and the guy forgot, or she didn't tell, I don't remember. So she came with her daughter, and the daughter was the cutest, like such a kid, absolutely angelic, clean, these big eyes, just incredible. And she has a birthday, and the guy didn't know that. And so also I like to make stories, like the guys know how I like when you give a gift, like it should have a story. And so the guy was sitting, and while they was on a date, I just run to the shop without even like saying him anything. I said, I need to go to the restroom. And I bought, I remember it now, I bought like 2 books, like super brightful, like one was with the stickers. And I bought, because they brought her a cake, and on the cake there was a little flower. And this girl, like these eatable flowers in Ukraine, it's very popular when they like decorate the meal. And so this girl was like, taking this flower, and she was like, oh, such a flower. And she like said, you can eat it. Eat it. Like, why did I say that? And she said, oh no, I want to put it in the water. Like, she was so much caring. So I ran to the shop, and in the shop they was selling like for the kids a set where you can plant something. And so it was like everything inside this box, but it was like a purple, like very nice box. I brought it, like I called him for a second, and so he brought, like he came up with this big bag of different gifts. when I've seen eyes and like happiness of this girl when she was opening this package and she was looking at these books, and like when she seen that there was a plant, this like set for plants, because they're like very poor mother, like really, they didn't have any money, and like, she got her for a birthday printer, because like she said, I'm tired of running to the printer shop before we go to school to print your like things for school. And when I did that, honestly, this was happiness. And I understand that I'm doing the right things when I see these emotions and when I do happy stuff for people, like I make them happy.
Because I mean, I've heard a ton of stories, and I probably haven't heard all of them, but even like, they always happen, right? So you hear these stories of like Luba's like a bit of a super sleuth when it comes to picking apart if the woman is a scammer or not. And a lot of the calls that we do, the guy's talking to a lady that he's met on like one of these Ukraine dating sites or something, and he just wants to get a second opinion. And Luba, as soon as we get on the call, Luba goes to work. Luba's like talking while on her computer as well, and she's like messaging agencies looking for profiles. She's doing what she does with all her contacts, and quite often she comes up with like who the lady really is in real life. She'll come up with her real social media. And she does it really fast. Like she's just still talking, and she does this, and she's like, I found all her photos, and she'll send it through. And both Luba and I, like when it comes to trying to pick apart a story from a devil's advocate's point of view, while still not becoming too sensitive that it could be a scam, like we always have to dance that fine line. And sometimes Luba and I have to check each other on it and say, well, no, hang on, it could be real. I mean, if it's real, it's pretty out there, but it could be real. Because we hear some of the most out there stories, and most of them turn out to be fake. Okay, but it's one thing to say to one of the guys who's usually not a client. In fact, almost never is a client, just a guy who wanted to have a chat to us about it. It's easy to say, oh yeah, we think it's fake, but we can't just say that. So we have to go and find something. And Luba has contacts. She can find out, where she lives, does she own apartments, property, and all that sort of stuff. So she can do all that. But one of the unique stories that I was thinking about before we jumped on here was the one just recently of the hairdresser
magazine.
The magazine one. You guys have to hear the story. It's like, guys would not ever pick this apart. We would accept these photos for what they are. It's only because Luba, I guess, one, being in this industry, but also being a Ukrainian, but also being female, right? And so obviously there's female nature comes into it as well. The difference is with Luba is that she will tell you exactly like, yeah, we're females, this is how we act. I can't tell you as much as what Luba can do in her mentality. And the thing is that Luba is very honest with the guy. She's very straight up. She's very straight to the point. Any of you guys in here that have had phone calls with us, I'm sure that you will agree that we're straight to the point. We sort of don't muck around too much. Luba, tell the unbelievable story of the hairdresser there. It was like last week, was it, or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, but this story is really hilarious. Like, so the guy, we decided that I don't want to talk a lot about.
Hey, can I just add here? Like, you guys should take notes on this, because there's stuff in here that you can use going forward if you're in a similar situations.
So what happened is that we don't want to talk a lot about scammers, and of course, like in 11 years, I catch a lot of them. I caught a lot of them, right? But this one, like really, like it was so good. Like, so the guy met a lady, and she gave him WhatsApp. So it was on one of the free websites. And what happening sometimes on this free website is that it can be like talking to you can be not even the lady. It can be some other like third person who is either just trying to get out something from you, or maybe just in between. The girl gave her pictures and she just like waiting until you're gonna come. I mean, it's a long story, and I don't want to go back to that. But so what happened? The guy was talking to the lady, and she gave him WhatsApp. For guy, it's like wow, it's a green light. Everything is good. Everything is legit. They was talking on WhatsApp. Like, the only concern that what's happening is that she said that she can't do the video because she's working a lot and she's a single mom, and she can't do a video. Of course, like the guy, it's kind of like, oh, sorry, like she's working so much, but she was messaging a lot, and the messages was, mwah. It was. If Kevin is watching, it's our word, like tutaban. It was so good. It was just incredible, like so smooth. She was like, how was your day? How are you? What did you eat for lunch? How is your son? Did you have enough sleep? everything that the guy would say, wow, I want, like, this is this gem, this is this like diamond. And she was sending a lot of pictures. All of them are selfies. And for the guy, there's nothing for the guy to think that, something is going on wrong. Nothing, absolutely nothing. When this guy sent me, but he was still concerned why she's not doing the video. But the reason that he was talking to her on WhatsApp, the reason that she was sending a lot of pictures and asking everything that he wants, like, for him, it was perfect. It was nothing more that he should ask. And she was saying that she will meet him when he comes. So he was thinking, no, not a big deal. He see her pictures, so everything is great. And what happened is that I asked him to send me all the pictures that she sent him. And she was telling him that it is selfies, like that she took at work, that she did this, and this. So first, what I mentioned, like what I see, is that her clothes was a little bit out of fashion. I would say that it is maybe like 3 years old. And it's not that she was unfashionable, but she was wearing like jeans, I don't know how you call it, like said that people not wearing at the moment, like they don't. I was thinking, okay, I shouldn't judge on that because maybe it's, her style, and so why would I judge? Another thing that I mentioned is that, like, every day she was like with or without cover on her phone, and her phone was iPhone 6. So yeah, single mom, kind of like, but still, very suspicious about that, because like it's already 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 iPhone. So kind of like I was not sure, but again, I was thinking, okay, Luba, you are hypersensitive, you're overthinking. The other thing that I see is that on every single picture, she has a different nails. So the guy would probably never pay attention at that. And I would say that the girls, they don't change their nail color every day, because nowadays everybody do a gel. And so it takes like minimum for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, the lady will have the same, this wonderful blue color will stay there for 2 weeks. And I was thinking, like, so this was selfies like in a row, and like even she was working like every other day. Okay, every other day, like different manicure. There is no way. And okay, there was like enough evidence. And then one more thing that happening is that I see the magazine. It was like 2 a.m. I'm telling you, like I was so tired, but I so much want to find something on these pictures. So I look at the table, and there's like a magazines, and I look at them, and I see that there's a Cosmopolitan journal. Like I can see a little bit like at the end of the name. And when I was a kid, my mom was collecting them, so I have like, I don't know, hundreds of magazines, like, and I know exactly how Cosmopolitan writes. And so I was thinking, I have some gut feelings, like I want to check when this cover was when
printed,
yeah. So, but it was like, so the picture was a selfie, and it was in the reflection of the mirror. And I, like, again, I repeat, it's 2 a.m. So I take a mirror, and I mirror the picture from my phone to read like the little bit, like the end. It was not the full cover. It was just like it was like this, maybe, like a little bit.
Yeah.
To read what it says. And it says, spring is coming. And I was thinking, spring is coming? So now it's just autumn. And I start looking for this. I thought, okay, maybe it's last year. It says beauty salon, so maybe it's last year, like spring journal. It's a quarantine lockdown. Maybe they didn't update it. I Google covers for Cosmopolitan. I will make it fast. And I start looking for them, looking and looking and looking. I can't find in 2020. I can't find in 2019. I can't find in 2018. And I give up. I thought, maybe I'm wrong. And then I decided to put like green cover, Cosmopolitan, spring is coming, everything. Guys, guess. I will not say, we will keep talking. And I want you to guess what year was on that magazine. I found it.
Oh.
You can't say that. No, it's so yes, it was March 2016.
Yeah.
It was 2016. And since then, like the guy was insisting on video calls. The girl understand that she can't play games with this guy, and she just never replied to him. And everything seems great for him at the beginning, and he's not like, this guy is obviously not like stupid or like silly or naive. But for the guys, just everything that these girls are doing, it seems so legit. And also because you're from the West, you can't think that somebody scam you like this. You can't. But what I think, like, it was not even her talking to him, unfortunately. And another thing, of course, on WhatsApp, it was not your picture, it was some kind of a trees, or this is like a red flag for you as well, because girls, especially if they work in a beauty salon or something, they will always have their picture. The picture may not look like her because she will have a lot of makeup, because at the salon they usually like do different stuff for each other, and they post the most beautiful picture, but definitely not the forest and not the trees. So
yeah, brilliant. Like we love the super sleuth side of it. We're always trying to, I'll see if I can find something or figure something out. And so that's one of the funnest parts actually about doing this, is like trying to figure something out, but without being too overly. And usually, and if it comes down to the fact that it's like, well, we can't find anything that says 100% scam, even though we know it probably is. We basically just say, you have to go, you have to get it out of your system. We're here for you if you want to join Heart Rocket. And some of them are like, no, I'll be fine. But then later on, they come back, and they're like, okay, you guys sort of understand a little bit more than what we do, and then we can help them a little bit further on down the track. But yeah, that's an interesting story. When Luba told me, I was like, that's brilliant. I love it. So yeah, I guess what we'll talk about is, so Luba used to do it offline. So she would go with a client, and she would go to different cities, go to these agencies that we recommend in Heart Rocket, and she would make sure everything is fine. These agencies, as you can imagine, could never give Luba or Luba's client a scam girl, pro data, a fixer, as we call them, which is another type of lady, or any of those, the draw card girls, because Luba would just say, no, get lost. Like, this is a joke. And they wouldn't even try and pull one over Luba, because they can't, because Luba knows more than them when it comes to like this industry. So that's why we have the luxury of using these agencies within this industry, and they won't bullshit us. It's because of Luba. But now she does it offline, so it's a little bit different, but the concept is kind of still the same. It's just not in person, but in person we'll talk about a little bit later on. So let's talk about what the Wing Woman does with Heart Rocket. Luba, actually, we if you buy the Wing Woman package, it's like an upgrade from the course, right? You have to buy it in 3 months. People say, well, can I just get 1 month? The answer is no, because this is what happened. People would get over here, they'd leave their luggage, they'd get scammed or something. They'd call us and say, can I buy like 1 month of support so you can help me? We would say no, because the reason for it. The reason is that over the 3 months, it's 3 different stages. It's planning a trip, it's being over there for 1, 2, 3, whatever weeks, and then it's coming back. So that's why it's in 3 months. So it's not an accident that it's 3 months. It's just that that's the normal time that it takes. So, Luba, what do they get? How do you help them? These guys that are coming over, that are with Heart Rocket?
How I help them.
I look for reflections for Cosmopolitan magazines, all the mirrors everywhere.
I mean, there's many stories. There's definitely there's many stories of like what is happening, and like what I like about what am I doing is that every time is something new. It seems like we the guys says like there's the guys and there's the women, and it should be like typical for me, but no, every single story is something new, and it has a very good individual approach. That's why I really enjoy it. And I help the guys. So like why we decided to make it in 3 months, you may already understand. So I support you before you come, while you're here, and after you leave. And this is important because I need to get to know you. I need to understand like what are your pros and cons, I would put it this way. So I need to I need to understand who you are, why you come, what you do, what are your intentions, and I want, like, I always ask guys to be honest with me, and like with me and Striker, of course, because sometimes when we talk, we feel that sometimes the guy, he feel uncomfortable about saying something, and I understand, like on the first call, of course, like maybe there's like some guys who telling everything, and some guys who we see like it's very obvious that they hiding something, and like one guy I mean, it was like, what, 8 kids? So like, it was like, it's like, we need to know that. We never judge. And we try to help absolutely everybody, but we have to know. And so I get to know you better. We have a call with you. We talk. I help them to choose the city. This is the most important. We discuss with them after they do the course. We discuss them where they should go. We discuss how long they should stay. We discuss what is more reasonable for them, how many days they should spend here and there. I don't not help them to set up dates because the agency is doing that. I mean, if they want my help, I definitely will support them, but they talk to the agencies. If there's some misunderstanding with agency, if they can't reach the agency, or maybe agency is too busy and like they didn't respond to this guy exactly this day and they messaged me, of course I will call to the agency and I will make sure that, these guys are satisfied and everything is good. So this is what we do before their trip. Also, a lot of guys coming to do either like dentistry or they do like for whatever. Like one guy was coming, he had some problems with his back, and so he needed like massage treatment, but not like Thai massage, like fancy one. He need like a good masseuse, and while he was on like and while he was on vacation, he can do it, like he has time. And so this helps him a lot because he can't lift his hand, his back is like sore. So everything was done, and we discuss everything that they want. And also we discuss what the guy want to see, because some guys want to go to Chernobyl, some guys want to see some churches, and etc. So this is what I do before the guy arrives. And also what I do, just 1 second. And also what I do, like if the guy is already in touch with some lady, like this happened recently, I help him to book something. Like for example, one guy, he was talking to a girl from, I don't remember where, but on some like Tinder he met her or some. So he was chatting with her and video her, and he was coming to see just her. And he still subscribed for Hard Rocket. He wanted to know everything. That was like, I was really happy about that. And then he subscribed for Next Level Support Wing Woman. And he told me the places that he want to visit. They play golf together. They do this, and this, like some unique stuff, not just like, bowling, something like different. And I was able to find it all and book it and send him an itinerary where he should go. And the good thing about Ukraine is that most likely you don't need to prepay. So like I book a golf for them, you don't have to pay. And so if for some reason you can't go, it's okay. I mean, it's not good, of course, for the business, but I mean, if you can't do it, you're not losing anything. But most likely it will be done if it is like booked by local.
I'll just tell my experience. There's probably guys in here that maybe can relate to it or that watch this video in the future. So I went on a like a romance tour, I guess you could call it, what it's called, I suppose. And then when that didn't work, I came back and I was like, I don't want to give up. I'm going to try and figure this out, right? I was completely lost. I was having, I had calls with other agency owners that I had to pay for. I had Ukrainian vloggers that somehow came into the picture, and I was confused as to what's this Ukraine, like she's quite a popular Ukrainian vlogger, quite a large channel. And it's like, how on earth did someone pass me her number? Like she's telling me to do this. And it's like, it was so unbelievably confusing that you end up just going for the, they say that the tallest nail gets hit, right? So the one where there are channels and videos and social videos everywhere, and you think, to hell with it, this is the only real option, right? And that's why I ended up like going to one of those other agencies, which is one we definitely don't recommend. But the idea behind like having like Luba or even the consulting calls, which we don't charge a lot of money for, right? Even some of these like Ukrainian agencies that are small, you'll never hear of, they charge double, sometimes even triple what we charge for a call with both of us on it. So we don't do that to like fill the bank account with money. We do that to give some advice, and maybe in the future you'll come back and maybe you'll tell some other people or whatever, or we helped you from stopping getting scammed. But the main, well, I guess the main reason or whatever is that if you can talk to someone for a very small amount of money and they can say, do this, be careful of what you're doing here and watch out for this. It's a very clear and concise plan. You don't have to take all of our advice, and some of the guys don't because they want to see things through to the end, and we understand that when it comes to talking on these free sites. But the idea was like, we will put you on a path that we think is right for you. So that's the idea of like, I guess like that part of the service, I suppose, is like, we want you to be right from the start, because it's an expensive mistake if you make the wrong one, So the idea behind, I guess, before you go, we want to understand like who you are, where you've come from. Have you used any of these other agencies like I had? And we always say to everyone, don't like bullshit us, otherwise we can't give you the best option. If you are supporting her financially, don't tell us that you're not, because it's embarrassing to say it is. Tell us, because it's the difference between she's a scammer and she's a not in some cases. So yeah. Luba?
Yeah. Remember one other story. Like, it's just, I probably will not be able to tell all the stories, of course, but like to give you an idea how can I be useful for you, is that recently what happened, like the guy came to from America, yeah, but he was coming through France, I think. I might be wrong, but France or Frankfurt. So he came to Kiev, but he originally was going to Nikolaev. He came, and it's not often happened, but it happens sometimes, that the guy can lose his luggage, not by his fault, by accident, because of the airlines. But he didn't want to spend another day in Kiev, because they said that the luggage will come the next day to Kiev and he need to pick it up. So he didn't want to do that, because he didn't want to waste one day of his trip, and he wanted to fly to Odessa. And then from Odessa, the taxi driver, the Thai Angel, already was waiting for him to go to Nikolaev. So I asked him to call me. I talked to somebody there. And I tell them that, it's a very important guy. He's coming to some conference and he must be in Nikolaev with his luggage as soon as possible. So the guy was like, I was like very serious, and like I was saying that, I do something. And so I asked them, basically, like as a human, I asked him, can you please, like we have a striker already enjoy using the service. So it's a service called Nova Poshta. Maybe some of you, if you've been in Ukraine, knows that it's a very, very cheap. It's like UPS in US, like FedEx, but very, very cheap. So within one day, from one city to another, it can be sent, maybe maximum 2 days, but like within 30 hours, they say, like they will send it to you. So I asked them to send the luggage from Kiev to Nikolaev, but like where in Nikolaev? So he told me where he gonna stay. I checked on map, like the closest, this Nova Poshta is like a lot of different shops around every city. I found the closest one to him, like maybe 3 minutes walk. And I asked them to send the luggage to this post office and on his name and my phone number, because they need to get a confirmation. And he received the luggage the next day. Actually, in 2 days. The next day he came to Kiev, and then they sent it. To be honest, like it would not happen like if he would do it by himself, because they literally would just stay on there, like, and say, come to Kiev and pick up your luggage. They would not send it, because the guy actually need to pick up his luggage, go to the post office and send it. Like, why would he do that? He's not getting like, extra paid for that. And like, I can't pay him for that anyway. Yeah, I can just like ask him and say that it is very important. So I think this kind of support is very important when you travel to another country. And especially like when you're coming on a date and you want to look fresh and you want to change your wardrobe, and then all of a sudden your luggage get lost. So this is one of the examples, like how I'm helping already when you here.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's talk. Yes. Okay. So the before part is putting the plan in place, making sure that, you're going to the right city, the right agency, whatever is right for you. During, I reckon this is like I struggled so much like with this. I went with one that does they say like a VIP tour, but it's not. They pick you up from the airport. And then all of a sudden you're kind of by yourself. There's no driver, and you pay like $8,000, some ridiculous amount for like that. There's no one really to sort of. Just quickly, like they gave me some advice. It was the worst advice they could give to a guy when dating a woman. This woman was not like a psychologist. She was nothing. They just employed her as the manager. She had a job in another field. I won't say what it is. Nothing to do with relationships, psychology, anything. And she gave me the worst advice that went right against what I believed in when it came to a woman. It was basically pander to a woman, put her on a pedestal, treat her like a queen, and she'll fall in love. And even back then, when I knew nothing about relationships or the dynamics between a man and a woman, I knew that was wrong. And I did it anyway, and she ran a mile. So I went back to her, and I said that didn't work. So I did what I thought would be best, which was back right off. And she came back to me. I went back to this agency, and she was this manager was like, well, we don't want her in our agency if she's going to play games, and we don't want you as a client either if you're going to play these games without. And I was like, but you clearly don't understand the dynamics between a man and a woman and what they want and how to make things happen. So in terms of getting like advice from an unbiased point of view, that is actually like real advice. It's not like some woman who's in her 50s, who's divorced, who has absolutely no clue at all what's going on with relationships. During that part there would have been so helpful for me back then. I'd never read any books. I didn't know anything. So that there is like Luba can offer that advice as well. But the other thing too, I've told this story many times before. One of the best things that I always talk about is the best experiences when Luba organised the car for me. Most of you guys probably know it. I've told that story so many times, but it does really encompass what Luba does. Basically, I'd taken a girl that I was dating. I dated her for about 5 or 6 weeks. We went from Kiev to Odessa. We hung out there for like 5 or 6 days. She had to go back for work. I said, okay, well, let's fly back tonight. And then I realized that that would be kind of boring. I texted Luba. I said, Luba, get us like a nice car, put some food in the back and we'll drive. Anyway, Luba turns up a few hours later with a white stretch limousine, and me and the girl that, well, I guess my girlfriend, got to sit in the back of a white stretch limousine from Odessa to Kiev on probably the worst roads that you could possibly imagine. But it was fun because we had food and we had champagne and we're in a white stretch limousine driving through the Ukrainian country. Now, I could not have organised that myself. There's no way I could have done it. Like, it'd be maybe if I'd spent a lot of time, but I'm chilling out with her and I'm looking online for limo companies. What do you think she's going to think? If I say, hey, our car's coming at 6 o'clock, let's go wait for it. She's going to think, how does this guy get shit sorted, right? And that's what the Ukrainian woman is after. She's after a man that can sort shit out. You don't have to tell her that Luba is in the background doing stuff. I recommend that you do not say that. You just say, oh, I've got contacts that in Ukraine, I'm well connected or something, kind of along the lines of that. But when it comes to in Ukraine, during your stay, I call it putting out fires. Your luggage is lost. You're coming through customs and they're asking you questions you don't understand. You can just call Luba and she'll jump on the phone and she'll tell them exactly.
Almost every guy now is calling me, like the one that has Wing Woman Support. They have my phone number, and I don't know why, but there's always some questions. Either the confirmation number is not sent, they can't understand them because everybody has different accent. I mean, it's tough, but guys are calling like from the airport. It's like it's also another thing I do when you arrive. You know what I want when you say about the limousine, I'm just saying that, I want to repeat it. And it's not like I don't want guys to be mad at me or like think that I'm materialistic or something. But I want to say it again that you only can do dating in Ukraine, honestly, like if you have money, if you're not spending the last bit of money, because you have to feel comfortable. You have to, because I remember I was working for one of the companies and there was a guy, he was sending them, I don't know, $100 or something like that for 10 years to come for one trip. And it was his last money. And he was like, it was so sad. Like, I understand that situations are bad. And, I'm not like, I very much value every single cent that the guys make. And I appreciate that. But just want to tell that, like, I want you to feel comfortable and you should come to Ukraine if you have enough money for that. Because like thinking that it's going to be cheap, it will be cheaper than America, definitely. Anything you would do, almost anything, but you should have money. And like the flexibility, for me, I adore these challenges. I adore like when the guys ask me for some crazy idea, like limousine is like, it was okay. But I mean, when I was calling, like it's good that the company knew me, because when I call another company, I wanted to compare the pricing, because like I have one thing that all of my friends say, like, Luba, you have so many, why are you always asking somebody else for pricing? Like, why can't you call? Like, no, I said, I always need to make sure that the price is right, that nobody overcharge me. And like, if the other company would give me different price, I would go with them.
And I guess the thing is that like, I knew Luba kind of, but not really well, obviously not as well as I know her now, but she knew who I was. So if I said I wanted a nice car, like she knows that, like, well, to get a flight was going to cost like $300. The limousine was like $450 or $500. So it was a little bit more, but the experience was going to be well. But Luba knew me well enough to know that that's kind of like something that I would enjoy doing. But that's because she got to know me, So we were friends then, and she understood sort of, I guess, the stupid shit that I sometimes do. So she knew that I would appreciate it. But if it was somebody else who wouldn't appreciate that at all, then she wouldn't do that, because she would understand that client because she's got to know him. And what Luba says there about like the money thing, like that's 100% true. Like if you're doing this and you think I need to do this on the cheap because I don't have any money, like it's, you really need to concentrate on a few other things. Yeah. So because sometimes things can go wrong. Like if you don't, I'll tell a quick story actually of a guy. He wasn't a client who stayed in a not so good area. Should I tell that story?
My God, guys! Like the area, I want to Starkey will tell the story, but after that I want to stop. This is very important. The area where you're gonna stay in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's like because in New Zealand, say it's like staying in a good area and a bad area when it comes to the central area. They're all pretty good. Even the bad area, nothing bad's gonna happen. Anyway, a guy, he wasn't our client. This a couple of years ago, he contacted me on Skype. I had a call with him, gave him the best advice I could. He was quite a young guy. Anyway, he went over to Ukraine, and I was talking to him like almost every day, like making sure everything's okay. He ended up getting a really cheap apartment, and I was like, so you just spend like $55 a night and stay in the city centre. You'll be safe, or stay at a hotel. You'll be safe for your first trip there. And even I think Luba, you were in contact with him as well at the start, I think. Anyway, so he came over and he made some really shitty, stupid, idiotic mistakes. He went to a bar with a couple of locals who invited him out. Anyway, he ended up getting drugged. Doesn't know what happened. And when we have a wing woman, not fully trained yet, but we have someone in Kiev who helps if guys need a little bit of help around the place. Anyway, so she was helping him. And then I think, because she wouldn't have contacted me, she contacted Luba saying, oh, he's in the hospital.
No.
Something's happened.
No. He went to embassy.
Embassy. That's right. Yes.
And this was so strange because when I received a call and it was like, hello, it's a USA embassy guard. But he didn't say that. So it was a US embassy guard. He gave him the phone. So what happened is that he kind of lost a little bit the memory. And the only thing that he was remembering is the agency that I gave him. So he asked the guard to find online this agency. He called the manager and he asked for my phone number. And so he called me, I was like really shocked. I thought like what happened? So he went to the embassy because he lost his passport, he lost his phone, he lost not lost, they steal it. This happened, but this happened only because he went to a very, very bad place. And also he was drinking with Ukrainian guys. What worse?
Actually, it wasn't even a bad place because I've been there before. I was like stunned that it was because we actually sorry, keep going. I'll tell the end of the story.
No. He was just like the way he found me. It was kind of cute.
Yeah. So that's how he had to find her. He had to go to an embassy, tell the embassy that he went to an agency. The embassy rang an agency who then got Luba's number. So when I talk about putting out fires, number one, if that was us, I think that when we can't stop someone from getting drunk and going and hanging out with local Ukrainian guys. Don't do that at all. But so we went to work and we managed to find the security footage for the apartment where he stayed. We tried to get the security footage from the bar, but they wouldn't give it to us unless they had a police warrant, which was never going to happen because nobody's going to give a shit about a guy who got drunk. We followed his Uber that night. We followed it out to a nightclub where the Uber waited for a short period of time. And the only thing I can think of is that he went to somehow get money. Possibly he had the other guys in there, but he didn't know what was going on.
We tracked his Uber as well.
Yeah. So we tracked him for all those places. He was really sick. He ended up in because he was doing it on the cheap, right? This is what we mean. He ended up in a free Ukrainian hospital, which is, I'd say New Zealand prisons would probably be more fun than the free Ukrainian hospital, right? So because no private insurance, they want to pay for it. But he stayed in a really shitty place. He was paying $23 a night, and he still got Uber into town. So that's going to be another $5 maybe. So,
he actually said that when he was paying back and forth, he would rather and the way, especially in Kiev, the traffic is just ridiculous. So he was always late for dates, and he was always upset about that. So it was pointless. So while you're saying terrible queue, If you can tell me your name, it would be better, because to call you terrible you kind of make me feel a bit terrible. But can you please repeat your question, because I can't. I will answer. I just can't find it. I see that you discuss it, but what was your question? I will answer after Striker finish, because I can't find
Can
it.
you rename yourself to Rather Pleasant Q? It would be much nicer to say.
Yes.
But that's basically it. So it's like if you skimp on all these, and then it's not a lot of money. Like he was paying like $25 a night for a shitty apartment way out of town. He could probably pay $45 to $55, 10 to 15 minute walk from town. Whenever I've been in Kiev, I've always paid around $50, and it's like 10 minutes and I'm at Maidan Square, 15 minutes walking at Maidan Square. So yeah. And then, and then also, like, if he stayed at a hotel or something like that, that never would have happened. Like, well, I can't say
For the
never
first
happened,
trip,
but
like, of course, and I just in general, like, I always recommend to stay at the hotel, because you always can, you can ask somebody, you can rely on somebody, you can, like, their security, their cameras, everything. I mean, it's so much better for the first time when you come to a different country. Just, you don't know. When you look at Airbnb, like, even like in Odessa, when I look for apartments, sometimes they say 5 minutes to the center, and you think, 5 minutes to the center. I don't know, it's on helicopter, or it's like on a drone, like how, or at night, like when there's no car, no traffic lights. So there's no way.
okay.
But when you read it, like you think, oh, it's okay, it's all right. I always help, like I'm not like, before I used to work with apartments and I was finding guys apartments. Now it's so much easy. In one click, you can find apartment or on Airbnb or Booking or whatever. But my guys, like the guys who signed for Hard Rocket, they can they send me the link, and I just tell them, is it a good location, or they rather find something else. And in Hard Rocket course, like we put all the hotels that I personally stayed in, all of these hotels when I was doing my wing woman mission of life, and when I travel around Ukraine. So it's all good hotels. So like a recommendation for the hotels we have it with Hard Rocket, but if you want to stay with apartment, then I will tell you, is it a good place or not a good place to stay.
Cool. Okay. So we've got guys that have come over here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I would just want to say, like, when you're telling about the limo, and like guys may think, oh, I'm not gonna hire a limo or something like that. Like another quick story that happened, like how I helped the guy. The guy was dating a lady, and they both like adore saxophone. And we sometimes have different concert jazz festivals around Ukraine, but there was nothing at that time. But he's so much like has a very nice, he liked music so much, and they was discussing, they know different musicians. So I end up renting a restaurant. It was winter, it was cold, so I end up renting a private room for them at the restaurant, because so we closed the restaurant for them, and I invite the little orchestra with the saxophone and violin, and they was playing just for them, and they gave me he gave me the songs that they like. And they so they enjoy the evening with music. Guys, just Clifton, thank you so much that you was here. Like, wow, I didn't expect. It's so nice. Tom, Clifton, they say that they need to go because they need to go to work, but it's so nice that you join. Everybody who is with us today, it's thank you. It's our pleasure, and we're very honored to have you. It's almost like you come to our house. Yeah, so even that is possible to arrange. If you want something, for me, it's like a challenge, because of course, not everything is easy to arrange. And sometimes guys requesting such a extraordinary things. But for me, it's a challenge, and I try to do my best and always try to satisfy their wants.
Yeah, the idea is no one can guarantee you, if you pay us any money, or I know that some people do sort of try and almost sort of guarantee it by giving you some sort of ridiculous chance that you will succeed. We're here to make sure that the trip is smooth and it's as best as you are going to make it, right? So there's never going to be any hiccups. I mean, I could tell so many stories with other companies I've used where I'm sitting there waiting for a drive, for a car. This date's waiting for me. I can't get hold of it because they haven't given me the number. I'm sweating anything, trying to all of these horrible things that completely ruin your experience. Our job is to make sure that those things don't happen the best that we can. And there's always going to be things that pop up out of nowhere. But rest assured, whatever it is that we, well, I say Luba can work a way around it. She can find people, she can look after you, she can make sure to get you out of like any sort of problem, and you can continue on with the journey, and you don't have to go home thinking, man, Ukraine sucks. It's full of bad people, or this happened, or the police, or whatever. So Luba will always do her best for it. That's why I say putting out fires. You know, these things can really ruin your trip. Like just something so small, something goes missing, and you think all Ukrainian people are scammers, thieves, whatever. So yeah, just remember that. Also, like if you are dating a woman, it happens up quite a bit. You need like an unbiased opinion, right? So the agencies, of course, we trust them. They kind of have a biased opinion, right? They want the girl to get married, so they'll say, "Oh, she's fine" or whatever, you know. But they really don't know you. Probably if you're doing if you're with the women, as well as we know you. Like some of the guys in there, I know really well. I consider them friends. And so we sort of know you a little bit better, and our intention for you is to make sure that you make a good decision, even if it means telling you that this woman is probably not the best option, you know. So, and we'll say that. So for us, it's making sure you have an unbiased opinion, right? Unbiased opinion based on the information that we have. And sometimes you can't get that from agencies, right? They want to have a success story, they want to take a photo, put it on their website, all that sort of stuff. Not saying that that's bad, like that. They really want that. Whereas we really want you to have what's best for you. So I'll just say that there. We're not pushing you. What I'm saying is that the other agencies push you into a relationship. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Do an interview with us and tell us how your life is, and we'll use it on the channel for years to come, even though you broke up a few weeks later. So we want what's best for you, even though it may take a little bit longer than a short-term relationship, if that makes sense. I think you know what I mean. Setting up spontaneous. What's that?
Hello, everybody who joined. Doug, Ernie, hello. Yeah, I know Ernie for so long, and I actually he was so hospitable, right? That in California, you know, we met, and it's great. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you guys for the friendship who I know for many years. Like Lift and Tom, I really it was a pleasure to work with you and help you to find your special ladies. So my pleasure. And I hope somebody knew, I want, the year is almost over, and I have one.
The year's gone fast. I was talking about this with Luba today. It's like, and I remember our first ever meeting where we actually had a proper work meeting, and what we did and what we ate, this little chicken was kind of like a funny joke. And that was like in August last year. And it's like this year, it's always been, let's wait. It's like we're always waiting for 1 month. And probably you guys thinking about coming over here, you're always waiting for 1 month. And you only have to do that sort of 10, 11, 12 times. And holy shit, man, a year has gone already. So anyway, that's in the past. We're moving forward. Everything is open, and we can get shit done. But one thing I wanted to say here is, well, questions only a Ukrainian woman would know. We sort of touched on that a little bit earlier before. But yeah, like advice for the guys, like on that sort of unbiased level from a Ukrainian woman's standpoint as well, is very useful as well. And the other thing too is like spontaneous dates, like spontaneity when you are dating a woman, especially in Ukraine, but I guess everywhere. What comes with spontaneity is also competence, right? So you are with a woman, and she mentions that she's never been to France before, but she loves France. And you think, well, what about if I take you, like this is not on the first date, right? You guys understand that. What about if I take you to a French restaurant? How am I going to find a French restaurant? All you have to do is like message Luba and say, Luba, I'm in Kiev, or we'll know where you are anyway. Can you hook up like a French restaurant, 7 o'clock, table for two? That's it, right? That's it. Spontaneous date. And then when you meet up with her, she's gonna always wonder. She's never gonna quite know how you did it, right? I think that's is an extremely powerful thing for you to hold. The fact that she doesn't quite know how you did it. You can tell, yeah, I paid Striker and Luba some money to sort out all my shit, but you wouldn't say that, right? Because that would ruin the illusion. And you're not being dishonest. If she asked you, like, how did you organize this? You could just say, I have friends in high places, or something like that. That sort of mysteriousness about you, that you can get shit sorted. It shows competence. And if there's one thing that Ukrainian women admire more so than the West, is competence, and what comes with competence is the ability to provide. Right? So I don't want to go too much into this. It's probably a video for another. The fact that you can sort it out on the spot shows competence, and it shows assertiveness. And it's a huge part about it. And maybe some of you think that it's like, oh, yeah, whatever, I can just sort that out myself. Okay. Then sort it out yourself, have a stressful evening. Maybe things will go wrong. You'll turn up at the restaurant. They wrote your name down. You can't get in. You look like an incompetent person. I'm not saying that would happen, of course, but the idea behind having Luba in the background is that you don't have to worry about that.
You know, guys, today we're talking Luba. Actually, I don't like when people call me Luba, but nobody would know about that. In Russian, nobody called me this way because only mom was telling this when I was doing something bad when I was a kid. But anyway, what I want to say is that, you know, it's not just Luba behind this all wing woman support and you know, just supporting you on your way. It's also a striker. And, you know, it's the greatest what's happening there because it's a power of two. When we talk to guys, like, I feel like we know each other very well. And most of the time we, without even discussing, can already, like, we have the same thoughts on a call. But this is like really so powerful. Like, he taught me so many things like that I would never even think that, you know, the men think this way. And I thought that I know men pretty well, but no, Striker every day, he like challenged me with something new and like in a good and a bad way. But he is that ingredient on that, you know, like a dish, I would say, that is really like very needed. And the way he supports guys, it's incredible. And all the guys who are with the Heart Rocket, they would say that. Sometimes like there is a guy like who needs to talk at night. And I say, Striker, really, like, I can't, like, and he will talk. He will talk because he's so much caring about that. And when we need to sort something, it's not that, like, yes, of course, I will arrange everything because, like, I'm local. But the way that Striker is doing that, and, like, let's call him Wingman, the original name, but really, he helps so much, and he helps guys, like, to grow. He recommends them books. He, like, I would say that he put their brain in place. Sometimes the guys need it. And if I'm the mother, nobody call him father, but definitely he's the bro. He is the brother for all of our clients because he has so much sympathy for them. He has so much passion to help them. And he cares, like, he sometimes calls me like, what's happening with that guy? Like, now we have a guy like, oh my God, like he's like, he go to bed with his name and he wake up like, how is this guy? I'm not going to say the name, but like, how is this guy? Oh, we have a call with him on Monday. Okay, Luba, like he's such a good guy. So he care, like he lived this journey with him. And so when you get into the next level mission support, it's not just me, it is Striker full-time as well. And this is what is like so brilliant about that, because the amount of impact that he can do with your life, it's unbelievable. The right word.
Yeah, I mean, I by no means say that I am any sort of anything that's like, you know, like I read a lot of books. And I recommend a lot of books that have helped me. And that's kind of it. Like I share the information that someone once said in the comments, like, oh, so now you're an expert in a life guru or something like that. And it was like, no, I've just read a ton of books and I just say what I've learned. It's not really that hard to understand. So, but I understand because where I come from and what I understand now. And it's interesting that Luba says that because, like, from a Western point of view, from a man's point of view, but not even from a man's point of view, probably more from like female nature and man's point of view. I know that Luba has learned a lot, but I've also learned a lot from her as well when it comes to the industry and the way it all works and that. So, and it's an interesting dynamic, right? Because every other agency is all about like love and hope and destiny and, you know, open your heart and all that. Whereas I used to be like that, and then I understood that, you know, you need to understand female nature, you need to take it from a evolutionary standpoint, and I brought that to Luba, and Luba understands that, and so it works quite well from understanding the industry, right? So it's like a good, like as she says, it's like in good ingredients. But with like a lot of our guys, like even guys that have done the course, even guys that have done the just a coaching call, the call might be 1 hour. after the call, when Luba and I talk on the phone next time or catch up in person, we might talk for an hour about that call, about what is happening. And I'll look at something online. So even though the call is only 1 hour, we might spend another hour discussing it and coming up with something that we can email to him. So, and even prior to that too, we get some information from the guy, like if he's used any of these agencies before or anything like that. Then we go and check, and we try and find out as much as we can before the call. So an hour call is really ever 1 hour. And some of the calls go for an hour and a half, and then you might do an hour's worth of talking and looking afterwards. So it's not like, when I say that, like, that really is not paying much of the bills. And it's really just something to help guys, to stop them from being scammed. And we probably spent way too much time trying to help people on those calls, and we probably really need to, but we really hope that it kind of helps. Okay.
I want to share one more story. How can I be useful when you come to Ukraine, for example? So recently with the COVID, it's a lot of mess with this testing, and the guys get lost a little bit. Like I tell them, and they still, like, I can speak, like the guy making notes and he remember, but when he come to Ukraine, everything like looks different and he a little bit lost. And so recently we have a guy who came and he did a test. So before in Kyiv airport, there was one laboratory, and they're pretty responsive, so you can call them, like it was okay. It was a private laboratory. I think it was 1,500 hryvnias to do a test. The test was done within 24 hours. On one of the other videos, I already told you about that. You can book you can pay for that online. You can book it online. You can have a time. Everything is great. So I thought that he went to this laboratory. In 2 days, he's calling me and saying, Luba, I going out, of course, but like I didn't get this notification that I'm out of self-isolation. What is going on? Why? I said, did you get your result on email at least? Because if you have it, then I can call to I can help you to put it inside the app. And he said, oh, I was so tired, so I just gave them I said, did you give them the same information for the app and for the laboratory? He said, no, for the app I gave my phone number, then for the laboratory I gave my email. And I'm like, wait, so it's not matching. So how do you think they would put it together? And he said, oh, Luba, I was so tired, I don't remember. And I said, okay, don't worry, I said, do you remember, I was sure that this laboratory. So I was calling them, and because it was a lot of travelers, for maybe 3-4 hours, I can't reach them. He was starting a little bit nervous because he forgot. And I said, do you have any receipt to make sure that, no. So I was calling, I can't reach them. And then for some reason, we start talking, and I said, was it this laboratory? And he said, I don't remember. I said, do you have any receipt or anything, at least something that you did this test? He said, no, I threw it away. I mean, of course, you would think why he's not so unresponsible. So this laboratory finally answered my phone, and I say, hey, girls, I'm sorry, I have a client. He came at 1:30 on that date. Please, can you check it? He lost his result. Can you send it to me, because he not out of self-isolation? And they say he never did the test. He's not our client. I said, how come? It's impossible. And she say, do you know that on the we're on the 3rd floor, but on the 2nd floor there's 3 other laboratories? I said, what? So I mean, this really become a giant business. Of course, 4 laboratories in one terminal. 4. So I start calling everybody. But it's impossible to reach them out. It's like a hotline, and you should wait for hours on phone. I tell him, do you remember it? And I start checking online the price. And I said, do you remember how much you paid? And he said, I remember that I paid, I think 1,100 he paid. I start checking online. 2 out of 3 was 1,100. So I understand that one of them. So finally I reach out one, and they say, no, he never did the test. After 5 or 6 hours, imagine, I finally reach out the one, and they say, yes, he did it. And we really didn't know where to send the result. And I say, okay, why didn't you ask him for the information if you and you say, oh, we have so many guys during the days, blah, blah, blah. So we forgot. They forgot. He doesn't get notifications. So finally I send my email. I ask them to send the result. I send it to the guy. They send it to the Ministry of Health, because only laboratory can do it. And he got this green screen, and everything went well. Otherwise, he would be panicking, because at least if you do the test, you need to have it on your hands. No matter do you have app or no, but at least when you're leaving, you show them, here's my negative test, I'm going home. So this is also what I'm battling right now.
Okay, so we've gone through, I'm going to tell you a story at the end of this. And like Luba surprises me all the time. And maybe even like a year ago or 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I think, yeah, I know everything there is to know now. And Luba's passed everything on. And Luba's like Mr. Miyagi, Mrs. Miyagi, and I'm the Karate Kid, and now I know everything. But always, like, there's something new that pops up, and she doesn't even, I believe that she's not consciously thinking of it. It's just ingrained in her. It just comes out. It's just natural. So anyway, before I tell this story, which is a brilliant story that happened about a month ago, we'll just go to, do you know it? Well, yes, you were there. So anyway, so there's like before, during, and after. So there's the 3 months. So afterwards is obviously advice, consultation, unbiased opinion, similar to there. What's going on? I need help. She's a nutcase. She's treating me like shit. She's doing this. She's doing that. You know, we can sort of give you some advice and sort of say, look, you know, from a different point of view. And we get this all the time. So we quite often have talks afterwards with guys. And, you know, sometimes the guy's been a bit silly. Sometimes he's like falling into her frame. Sometimes he's been putting her on a pedestal. She doesn't want that. So anyway, a whole bunch of reasons why that could be useful. And the other thing is like guys quite often want to send stuff to her. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But there is something wrong with paying these exorbitant fees through these agencies or through these sites that if you look at it in English, it costs 3 times the price. So we can help you with anything like that as well, because we don't want you to get ripped off. So if you go through us, you're not going to get ripped off. We'll make sure. Oh, actually, that's one other thing I'll say too, is the during stage and the before, well, actually all stages there. Like if you're asking Luba to like book something, maybe it's, I don't know, a trip, horse riding, something like that. As soon as Luba starts talking in the native tongue, the price is going to be different from you. And this is what I mentioned to Luba before, was that the fact that someone's paying for the Wing Woman support, they're probably going to save more than that just from organizing like dates. It's like we had one client come over and he wanted to go to this resort this day, and he had Luba planned every single day for when he was here, so he didn't have to think about it. He probably would have saved more than what he paid Luba to actually go and to actually organize all of that sort of stuff. If he'd done it himself, the price would go up for sure. You know, let's not kid ourselves when it comes to foreigners in a foreign country. I'm not saying anything about Ukraine. It's the same everywhere in the world. She will save you a shit ton of money.
I
will. Say you will now. We've just told everyone you will, so you have to save them a minimum of 35%.
Yeah. No, you know, the same as everywhere, really, the same as everywhere. Guys, you know, and ladies, they can get screwed in a foreign country. And so my goal, as I say, like my mission is to make sure that Ukraine is nice, good, and hospitable for you, and to make sure that you not get scammed and give you as much information as I can. And also Striker, as you know, as the person who live here, I would say right now at the moment, he also can give you very valuable advice, like even like on everyday stuff, even like he's learning step by step, like how to use this and that. Like if you're moving to Ukraine, he also can advise you, because like he's using the like local post. And like before, I was ordering everything for him, and of course, as a man, he was not feeling like super comfortable. But I'm like the one. That's why I say like sometimes I feel that I care too much, because like I try to run in front of everybody to help. And I remember like and
I'm like, I've got this. Like I'll figure it out. Just.
And so I was working with the guy, and I was telling him like how he needs to open the door, how he needs to do this and this, like just giving him advice. And then I mean, it was kind of embarrassing, but like the other day I was walking and I opened the door for myself, and I say like, why didn't you open the door for me? Like I just told you, like how will you open it for the ladies? And he said, Luba, have you seen how fast you go? Like you're walking like that. You're always like in front and you open by yourself. And like I said, I literally can't do it. And I thought, I'm a lady too. I need to slow down. So, I mean, there's like priceless advices that striker can do according to like everyday life in Ukraine. Even like ordering food, right? Like how at the beginning, like I was ordering food for him, like from the big mall where he can buy like a wholesale or something like that. Now he's doing it by himself. He managed all that. This is also very, very useful. I think it's only the person who really.
Yeah, there's ways that like when you come here, like it's difficult, right? It takes a long time. And so what was easiest for me is like Luba would always jump in there. I've got this. And that's how she sort of is with her clients. And so, but there's after, like when I first came here, I didn't know really how long I was going to be staying or anything like that. So after a while, you say, okay, well, there are ways that you need to figure it out. So there are ways that like I sort of just figured it out myself or found certain websites. It makes it easier. So if any of you guys stay for longer, I could definitely help you with some of those things. So you don't need to have like a wing woman to order everything for you. The wing woman is really just if you're coming over for like a few weeks or a month or something like that. But it's not difficult to find. Well, I say to find, but to learn how to do it yourself through it. And it comes down to everything. If you're staying here for like 6 months, like there's other things you have to learn, like how do you pay your gas bill? How do you order water? Like all of these little things, you know, that sort of. But maybe we'll make another video about living here for 3 months or 6 months or something like that. What was I going to say? I was going to tell a story then. Yeah, so that's basically what the wing woman does.
Tell the story because now I worry what you're going to say.
Oh, okay. So we were at the airport the other day. We were, a few weeks ago picking up a client. You know the story. And we were picking up a client, right? And we were waiting there, and everyone's got their masks on and all that other sort of shit. And Luba says, "Look at this guy here," and she points out a guy. He's standing there, and he's like got his phone like this, right at the entrance of the airport in a desert, looking around. And she says, "He's here dating." I said, "How do you know that he's here dating?" She said, "Striker, how long have I been doing this for? How long? How long have I been doing this here for?" Fair enough. Anyway, she speaks over and she looks at his phone, and sure enough, he's looking at a profile picture from like Anastasia date or one of those ones like that. And I said, "Luba, you can't let this poor guy stand there looking for his fantasy woman from one of these." So anyway, so we wait a little while we're sort of sorting out a few other things, and then Luba says, tells him to come over. He comes over, and it was classic. Like it was like a, you know, the 90-day visa where David's kind of like waiting. Like kind of like a goofy sort of a guy, like sort of clueless. Like
he also have a young.
Yeah, he even sort of looked like that. And Luba was like sort of going, like Luba could see everything. She looked at everything. She knew exactly what was happening, and she said, and she could see what this guy's been promised that he's going to be picked up from the airport because he's writing letters through one of these sites, right? Anyway, so I think he come over, right? I can't quite remember.
No, yeah, at the beginning he was like looking, and then he put the phone next to my face, saying like, "Diana," and like because he was thinking that like, because like that I'm that girl, and I say, "No, I'm not Diana," and I say, "Are you looking for the girl?" And she's not coming. Say, "How do you know?" And like we was waiting for the guy at the airport, and so he kind of like thought. Like he started worried that, you know, we came there like to pick up the guys or something like that.
Well, what it was is that you said something to like he said he was like waiting for his friend, you know, and then you said to him which website, and he sort of like he knew that you knew something, but he was very untrusting at the start, and I said nothing. I said nothing at all at the start.
But you agree with me that when we've seen him, it was like when we was watching this 90 days visa, you kind of say like how the guy can be so foolish. And maybe this was like made up story with David, but David was a combination of absolutely everybody who is coming to Ukraine. One guy was like, it was the same, like the situation that we met at the airport was exactly the same when David was waiting for this Lana at the train station.
Yeah.
He came and he was like, she didn't message him, she didn't confirm, she haven't seen his message, but he had this idea in his mind that she will come. He had this idea that she will be there because he can't imagine that the person can communicate for you for so long and not like show up. So he was
real. Yeah.
So the bottom line is that like she never showed up, of course, and he was like, and our client was like coming like the latest from the plane, I think,
Oh.
and this guy was like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He was looking and looking and looking, and so he need to he rents an apartment. And when he started calling to the owner doesn't speak English. And so it was very late. It was already like 11 p.m. So the owner like never put the guy in an apartment.
Let me tell the story here, because I can tell it. You tell it in a modest way, but I want to tell it in the true glory that it was. So anyway, so I stood there and I didn't say anything. So he probably thought I was from like Turkey or something like that, or, you know, but I didn't say anything. And it wasn't until after a while when I could see that he wasn't trusting who Luba was that I said, you know, like, you need to be careful about what it is that you're doing. And I tried to tell him about some of these, you know, what he's doing is very common, what a lot of guys do. You're all getting screwed, you know, and Luba has like worked in this industry and all that sort of stuff. He was lost. He was like this little lost puppy dog that was still walking around with his mask on. And he had his mask like he was like going to like become a carpenter later that day. I just remember that. But he was like the respirators on the side. Anyway, but so we felt kind of bad for him. He said, look, you're screwed. And we were like saying, be careful of these taxis here. Call an Uber. We told him to go and buy like a SIM card. It cost like $5. He was saying, oh, I don't need to buy one of those. Like really like.
But he can't even book a taxi. He can't even like, because he said, oh, I need to stay the door because I need to use Wi-Fi, and I say like it's so cheap. But you know what it was interesting for me? He was suspicious about every single reasonable thing that we was offering, but he was okay about the girl picking him up from the airport, and that's why we guys tell you never like just do your stuff by yourself.
We were the most trustworthy people that he could have possibly met in Ukraine on that trip. I believe he'd go over on some other trips. So I was like, pretty much begging him, was like, please just go and get a SIM card. So you're not, if you can't find your apartment, you can like use your Wi-Fi, you can contact someone on Fiverr, you can do whatever. And he kept saying, no, I've got a Ukrainian phone. I was like, oh, like, why didn't you say that before? Anyway, I said, get your phone out. So he gets his phone out, and it's like not a smartphone. It's like the LCD's on it, like this big. It's so old and crap. You can't do anything with it. It's like, this is pointless, man. I said to Luba, come on, we have to take this guy. We have to take him to where he needs to go, otherwise he's going to get killed or he'll end up somewhere. We'll read about him in the news. So anyway, we had our client there with us. Anyway, so we drive around for like 45 minutes with this guy in the car, right?
Like we have these new condos in Odessa that like honestly, even when I need to go there, like I'm lost because it's like circles and rounds and rounds. And I'm a little bit scared, and there's a reason for that of the parkings, like underground parkings. And like I hit him with something there, but it was like I wanted to help him, and I called to the landlord, and he's a bit. Remember like how he it was bad.
Yeah, and I remember that like because your car's not that big, and so me and your client were like, because there was like a box or something next to in the back seat, and me and him were squished in the back seat, and this giant tree of a man who was huge was sitting in the front seat, and we're in the back. He's like thinking, what the hell's going on? I'm thinking, well, this guy in the front's like, oh, this is great. I'm getting a free ride to my apartment. So about an hour. Anyway, there's no way he would have found this apartment. We had to ask security guards. We finally got.
And she put it under like some plant in the end of the corridor. Like
she couldn't speak English anyway. So Luba like leaves. I stay with the client downstairs. We just talk about whatever. Luba's gone for like 15, 20 minutes. There's like an hour probably after we were at the airport and we should have left, which we were late for anyway. Anyway, gets to the apartment, and there was no key. You had to ring the apartment owner. Had to get him in there, and then there was no Wi-Fi, right? So you had to call there and you had to organize his Wi-Fi. This is just a random guy that was like meeting a scammer at the airport. And so eventually Luba comes back down, and the first thing I said, because I was frustrated too, it was late, it was like midnight.
It's pretty disappointing.
I'm serious about this, but this is like, and I knew that our client, he was like not frustrated. He could see that we were trying to help this lost man. Anyway, and I said to Luba, the first thing I said was like, did he like offer you anything, like gas money or anything for driving?
No, he said, how much did he give you? And I said, nothing.
Oh, how much did he give you? Something like that. And you were like, nothing. And I was just like, I'm shocked.
Did he offer? You asked.
Yeah, and not that we expected anything at all, but it was just like, I could see how frustrated you were doing all of this stuff for a random guy. We've got a client in the back here that I'm trying to keep entertained to make sure that, like, you know, he's like, yeah, having a good time with Striker. It doesn't matter. We're in a parking building, hot as shit. But it was like,
Some wine.
but the reality of this is right, is that guy was not, I won't say he was typical, but there are a lot of guys that do that, right? And like when Luba at the start, actually, I'll say one other part to this story too that was really bad, is that the owner of that apartment rang Luba 2 days later, demanding money from Luba because that guy did a runner, didn't he? He like ran off, and she was like,
Yeah, it was like a very strange situation, to be honest, like in general. Like, but this guy, you know, what is bad? So these guys are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this letter writing, believing in that like blonde, blurry boobs, girl, but he not think about like reality and I believe that everybody deserve what they deserve, you know.
yeah,
So
like he
no, I
wasn't
would
like,
help him anyway. Like, you know, I would really like it's I was not even surprised that he didn't offer money. Like Striker was really surprised. But because like Striker is always like very genuine with people like who help him or like some plumber who come or like even like some babushkas on the street. But I mean he's genuine and like I'm the same way. Like we really have the same thoughts about that. But telling me like but with this guy like was just
yeah,
weird.
Luba wasn't like, she was like, it's not it's not unexpected, but yeah, I mean, like these, like,
I always rescue guys, like some random guys who doing like pictures with pigeons. And you know, guys, I don't allow you to take pictures with pigeons, eagles, monkeys, donkeys,
snakes.
snakes, and horses. Police, because like these people are ridiculous. Like we were staying with the other day with a client in the center. Oh my God, they scam not just Western, they scam like local people. You take this pigeon, they put this pigeon on your head, like you can't even walk by. So they put this pigeon, and you think, pigeon, and like take a picture. Then of course, like on smartphone, nobody take one pictures nowadays. You take a couple of them, and they say like 250 or 300 hryvnias per each.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's ridiculous. Don't ever get photos with this. Actually, it was funny one time. Where were we? Were we in Odessa or Kiev? We were somewhere, and there was this pigeon, and there was some guys that looked like they were like from Korea or China, like Asian guys, and they were like fighting with them in the street, right? And Luba, we walked past, and it was like Ukrainian men scammers, and she goes back there and like started yelling at like the Ukrainian men for trying to rip off these Asian tourists for these, for the animal on the street scam, as we like to call it. So anyway, so even there, like Luba like went into bat for like some, like, I don't know where they're from, Japan, China.
I just took him without. I just grabbed him and we just started walking a little bit like together. Yeah, but anyway, we was thinking with Striker that this video going to be 30 minutes, but I think that we never can stop talking, so it's already an hour and a half, and it's still 50.
We could write a book, and I reckon one day Luba and I will write a book of all the adventures and the stories that we've seen along the way, like the story of the airport before. Like, I mean, it's unfortunate, like, and that's why we're actually quite particular with some of the guys. In fact, we've given out refunds for guys that have signed up for us. For various different reasons. But if we see someone's not a good fit, or that we can help them, they're completely unrealistic, or there's something maybe in their background and history that we don't feel comfortable with, or some of that, we will give them their money back. We'll just, look, we're not comfortable with what's happening, or we know that we can't help you. So we've done this on several occasions now. So we're very particular about who we think we can help. And if someone is like just a real pain in the ass, like super cheap, we're not saying super cheap because we want to get money from them, but because if someone is super cheap, staying in a $9 a night hotel, like us trying to find them a quality woman is virtually impossible. Like, you need to find a woman that's on that level, We talk about, I don't want to go too deep into it, but we talk about hypergamy, right? If you're on a $9 level, you're going to get like $7 girls. So if you're happy with that, go for it, but we like quality people.
You. Do I know you? Because I think that I know you. Why did you text the Careless Whisper? Is it the song that, like, tell me, do I know you, or
it's like a childhood sweetheart. It's like someone from high school. He's like, it's like a childhood sweetheart that someone you went to prom with. He's like tracked you down.
Like I have one guy, and like it's funny, like I know him for many years, but no matter where we go, in which city we are, we always hear this. What you did? I think that Is the Careless Whispers the song that we always hear together? Okay, I know. Yeah, but I mean, anywhere we go, like we hear the Careless Whisper. Like it's just funny. Like
Okay, maybe it's
no,
me. I've got another computer on the side here, and I'm like,
it's not you.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's not him.
Okay, well, it's been interesting. We always talk too much. It's just the way that we are. I'm sorry, guys. I'd love to be able to make short live videos, but
Terrible. Can you tell me your name? Just 2 letters of your first 2 letters of your name. This is Ivan. Okay.
Ivan the Terrible. I was just going to say Ivan the Terrible. That's like Ivan the Terrible. He's like from some movie or something, right?
It's our Ivan. Okay. Okay. No, but I mean, but I don't know why he messaged like Careless Whisper. I'm curious because, like, honestly, with this guy, like, when, like, no whether like are we in Kiev or Kharkov, like, there's like street music a lot of the, like most of the time. There's always Careless Whisper. But anyway, guys, one thing more thing about like support afterwards that is important when you when you go back home and you may think like, oh, why do I need support? The guys need, because we help with with some misunderstanding that you may have with a lady, and you will definitely have them, even like no matter how good your relationship, because like just I think that male and female was built to have misunderstandings, and we Striker will write another book on this topic, and it will call Strikers and Luba Misunderstanding and how we get all of them. So this is what's happening, and I also help a lot. Like I arrange surprises because I'm crazy about surprises. I arrange different surprises for the guys, for the ladies. I mean, so when the guy leave, they want to do something nice for the lady. Either it's like grocery shopping, or maybe flowers, or maybe buy her a card for whatever, like different things. Like depends on the situation. I always help with them, and it's also very important to be to show the lady that you are somewhere around, even you are far away. Because some ladies, like pro daters, will expect you to send your phones and flowers. The real ladies will not. And the other day I managed to send flowers to Donetsk, because the lady at the moment there, she went there to visit her mom, and the guy really wanted. In Donetsk, they already have rubles, not even hryvnias like in Ukraine. And I managed to send her like incredible flowers, and she was just shocked. So afterward support is also very important. Is the same important as support before and during your trip.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it. We're going to talk about like an offline wing woman, but I think the video's gone on for so long. A lot of guys are asking, can they just grab Luba and then just do her usual thing that she used to do? It's actually with some of the guys that are in this chat at the moment. At the moment, it's very difficult because we have so many other guys that have to be supported all at the same time offline. But just quickly, we may train up some women. But
Rodney, I read the message that you leave before. We are very sorry about your mom. So we are there with you and in our thoughts. It's a sad situation, but I hope that you will overcome it and you will finally call us and we will see you, and we will talk, and we will find you a special lady and we will become friends. So
okay, that's cool.
Guys, yes, like what you want us to do the video about. Like if you have any questions, just quickly, like maybe 2 minutes, so we're gonna stay more. Just say what is the topic that you want us to discuss on the next live video.
And if you guys like these live videos, just like click the like button or something, just so that we know, and we'll keep doing them. Because every weekend, like sort of around Thursday, Friday, we always talk about like, should we do a live video? And we're like, I don't know, what should we do? What are you doing Sunday? I don't know, we might do this. So we sort of hum and ha about doing it. But we seem to have for us, like having 60 people like watching us talk about stuff is pretty cool. So we appreciate that.
And if you want to talk to us, please visit, if you don't know about us yet, so visit our website, www.heartrocket.com, and book a call with us, and we will be super happy to help you with any situation, because honestly, we help guys, not just with the guys who are like planning to come to Ukraine. We talk to the guys who have already been to Ukraine. We talk to the guys who are currently in relationship, talking with the guys who are planning to come, who've been scammed, who've been married to Ukrainian ladies and they got divorced. So we really talk to a bunch of different people, and I think that right now we're at the point like where we can advise everybody, and and we're really like we have big experience, but we are always happy to learn more, and like to make ourselves better for you. So we're reading a lot of books.
Yeah.
We're doing self-development. We discuss stuff, and Striker is right. Like every client for us, it's like a book that we cherish and that we really taking care of, and we want to help, and we discuss, and we always find the best solutions for the guys that are planning to come.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and we always, like Luba and I, sometimes we get off Zoom calls or Skype calls, whatever you want to call it. But and it's like, wow, that was a real mind fuck, wasn't it? And it's like it was, and then we go away and we think, regardless of whatever felt situation, it always helped us to grow and to learn a little bit more. Like we didn't come into this and go, hey, well, I certainly didn't anyway. Luba's a little bit different, but I actually, like, if you actually go to the YouTube channel and go oldest video first, like I didn't know anything. Like I was just like lost and didn't know anything. And now I'm saying I know everything, but I know a heck of a lot more. And I met a lot of guys that were in my position a couple of years ago. And so I'm happy to give them the information. And I tell you, one of the best things is like when we talk to somebody, like they jump on, they book the call, they give us information, and then the Zoom call maybe 3 days later, we jump on there and they say like, I've learned so much from your videos. And like it's happened a few times now, they'll hold up like a copy of like Technical Guide to Women or one of the other books we recommend, right? And it's like, I'm reading this book and it's like changed the way that I think about dating or female nature or whatever. And for me, that's kind of like not why I started the channel, but as it progressed, it was just to help other guys. And so to understand that it is actually helping other guys, whether they give us money or use our services or not, it's still pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy about that. I think that's all, right? So living in Ukraine for an extended period of time. Yeah, okay. Well, I will think about how I could put something together. I would say that it's probably best to do this, like say 3 to 6 months or 3 months to a year, because 3 months you're here as a tourist because you have a tourist visa. If you're staying over 3 months, there are some things that you must do. In fact, you'd probably only be, I'd say, I don't know how you sort of word that, but to get over the 3 months consecutively, like to go to 4, 5, 6 months, you really need to set up a D visa or to set up a visa setup. So, we keep done.
Striker, you got frozen. I have an idea. For the guys who are still with us, hey, Striker.
I'm here.
Yeah, so for the guys who are still with us at the moment, I want to offer this idea. So the guy was asking about the group Zoom call, and we kind of like promised that, and we never did it. So what I want to offer, I would like guys to go to Heart Rocket website. Like, of course, we prefer to have individual consultation with the guys because like everybody has their own story to share. But I want to give away a call. I want the guys who are watching us right now and want to do this group call when we will answer like your direct questions to send us an email. So for that, you need to go to www.heartrocket.com and send us an email through there, like contact form. And send us an email saying that you would like to join group Zoom call. After we have like, I don't know how many, maybe 10 guys, 5-10 guys, we'll see. We will set up a link for the Zoom and we will send it to these guys who want to join this call. Probably will. Yeah. What do you think of
I was going to say, and you don't have, because I've seen Zoom calls on, and they don't show the face, but it's just like the name. So is that what you're saying? We do like a consultation, like online?
can have a call, like it will be up to you. Like I prefer the guys to have face, but it will not be live. It will not be live video. It will be our consultation that we will do for free. Like, but it will be group, so it will not be that personal when we can actually. It will be 1 hour call for the guys who want to join a group call. But for that, you need to send us a request for this group call with the subject on email should be group call on Zoom. And we will add you to this group. I will set up time and we will be able to talk like with videos preferably. I think it's always nicer because you have seen us and we would like to see you.
Yeah, it's actually very important that we see the guy, because it's like if he says that let's just say he says he's 40 years old and he's dating a 25-year-old, okay? It's plausible for some guys, like if he's very handsome and he's very buff and very chiseled, but if he's not, if he's like 100 pounds overweight, and like it sets the tone for the conversation, because unfortunately appearance does count, right? So if we can see the person, I don't think we've ever done a call where we haven't seen them. Anyway, we've done a few where it's been really dark and sort of weird, but we always say
it's important. You don't have, like, if you're planning to come to Ukraine and if you think about this series, there's nothing to hide. And if there's going to be something that I would point, like, you need to shave or you need to lose some weight, trust me, I'm such a woman that I will tell you. Because
Garrett just says being engaged by Z-Master Wolf, being engaged and still being scammed, 2-year courtship trips together, still scam, how could it be a real life professional actress or not? The fact that you're asking that question says that there is a ton of red flags that have probably been there almost since the start, but maybe you've sort of been killing yourself a bit. She's in it for the long game. Without knowing who you are and who she is and learning how you met and the rest of it, completely impossible for us to give you an answer. But book a call or maybe do the Zoom group. It's actually a brilliant idea, having a group of guys that want to do this, that just want to yarn on Zoom. I mean, even if they're Hard Rocket members or not.
That I always come with different ideas, but I also, like, in the future, I want to create like a business network, because we have like such a different guys. Like some guys are really like super cool and professional real estate, and others like awesome in marketing, and others are engineers, and others like IT guys. Like if we can create this, like, and people can be helpful for each other. But this is
I agree with that. Like I've been like, and I've met like local expats or locals that were visiting that were sort of in the same sort of field as work as me, like developers, and it's like straight away you're like, well, what about doing something like this? And so I think creating, I've got, if someone wants to meet with me, like just even if they're not part of Heart Rocket and they in the same sort of field of work and they want to go have a beer or something like that, I'm always happy to meet them, because you never know what happens in the future. Any advice I can give about business in Ukraine and stuff like that, I do know some stuff just from kind of doing that. We're like one of the few that have like decided to run a legitimate business in Ukraine, pay tax, do everything you're supposed to do. So I wanted to learn how to do it, and I wanted to be legit, and I wanted to pay my fair share, even though I hate tax.
Guys, it's time for us to finish. Thank you so much for being with us. It's honestly hour 46 minutes. It's incredible, and we feel special to have you all on board. And borders are open. Heart Rocket is waiting for you. If you're willing to find your soulmate, your special partner, your friend, please give us a call. And I think that we will give you valuable advice on your journey. And we want to help as much guys as we can. The lockdown been kind of like against that for everybody, but we believe in best. And nowadays, like right now, is the best time for achieving your goals.
Sweet as. We've got actually some really exciting stuff in the future.
Rodney, are you going to be on this group call? Promise us here.
Yeah, well, we've got sorry, I lost my train of thought. We've got some like really cool stuff that we're working on in the future that Luba and I have been talking about. We can talk about it now, but stay tuned. We're always trying to solve problems. That's our thing. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.